Hey everyone, and welcome to Screen Time, presented by Professionally Unprofessional Studios.
Like the other one was too long-winded.
Nah, it's good.
Alright, here we go. Welcome to Screen Time, the film podcast where we ask, does Marcellus Wallace look like a bitch? I'm Dermot Costello.
I'm Conor Ryan, and welcome to the show.
Right, well, this is our inaugural Screen Time.
Yeah, it's the first one. Who knows what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about everything films and television and...
Well, not really, we know today is going to be purely about...
Today,
Quentin
but not the show. The show is going to cover everything. But today, we're focusing more on Kevin Smith and Quentin Tarantino films.
Both of them are the undying loves of our lives.
They're really just great directors, great writers, and they come up with some great films, very unique. So what's first? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I feel like for anyone who doesn't know who Quentin Tarantino or Kevin Smith are, get the fuck out. But honestly, let's start with the basics. Who is Quentin Tarantino?
Well, Quentin Tarantino, he was a regular Joe who liked to write things and make things, and he worked in a comic book shop and had a script, and that script was for Reservoir Dogs. And once upon a time, he knew a man who knew a man who knew a woman who was the wife of Harvey Keitel, and the script got passed around, and it just blew up once the film was made, and he is now one of the most influential and most famous directors and writers ever to grace Hollywood.
I love how that wasn't even scripted. You completely knew that off the top of your head.
I know that off the top of my head. I'm like his number one fan.
You really are.
And who is Kevin Smith?
Oh, well, Kevin Smith is a lovely, bubbly comic book nerd who got into the writing and directing business, who, honest to God, all we need in life is more Kevin Smith things. Because we have sat there when we're supposed to be doing our college work and supposed to be doing our things. How long did we spend watching Jay and Silent Bob go Irish?
Well, it was definitely an hour anyway, but just watching it and not doing college work, it made college much more bearable.
But like, he's somewhat similar to Tarantino, comic book fan, big into that, and went on to then create great films, but also now writes for comic books and comic book TV shows.
Yeah.
As well as...
I know he did Supergirl, but I think, did he do The Flash as well?
I don't know. Yeah, he did. He did the season 2 episode Runaway Dinosaur, which basically he tried to unfuck the timeline for the first time. Didn't work. But it was good.
I'm personally not mad into the CW superhero shows or anything like that, but I have heard that some of his Kevin Smith's episodes are the best episodes.
It's like, do you know in The Simpsons the best episodes were the season 4 Conan O'Brien episodes?
Yeah.
It's like the external directors and writers were always the best ones.
Yeah, definitely. Because like he's got an idea and he knows how to go with it, but also he wants to direct the Flash movie.
Which I feel like he should totally be allowed to do.
But no one's asking him. He wants to do it, but no one's asking him.
But see, I'm also of the opinion that I'm quite a fan of the CW series, and like you said, the best episodes are done with Kevin Smith. But I also think Grant Gustin should play the Flash instead of Ezra Miller, because he just looks so baby-faced.
Are you talking the guy who's the Flash in
the guy who's in the Flash in CW should play the Flash
in a film?
Yeah, because it's like
instead of leaving the movie fella.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly, have you seen you scraped through Batman vs Superman?
Oh God, I had to it was putting me nose to the grindstone and just persevering. It had some good moments. It was like anytime Batman was there, most of the time it was badass. I just don't like new Superman. No, even Man of Steel. My mother is the most bloody into Superman in the world. She's the biggest bloody fan, and we went to see Man of Steel, and even she bloody hated it because it's too dark for Superman.
See, I'm coming across as a comic book fan because Superman up there. I prefer Superman to Batman. That's a very unpopular statement, I know. But
I like the two of them. I like Batman in the Christopher Nolan stuff and in like the animated series and all that type of stuff. But and Ben Affleck's one is good. But in terms of like that's why I prefer Batman in that whole movie and TV area, but that's why I don't like Superman. Because like he's not Christopher Reeve Superman. He's not even Superman Returns was a brighter Superman.
Okay,
film.
don't sit here and lie to me.
It was a brighter. It wasn't good. It was shit. It was worse. It was
about
worse than Batman v Superman.
That's not hard.
But it did have, at least the suit was blue and red and not a dull grey.
Okay, here's a little bit of a perspective for you. How bad would it be if you got asked to play Superman and the movie didn't do so well, but at the time you were still playing Superman, only to be called by DC 6 years later, hey, we're doing a show on the CW called Legends of Tomorrow, can you play the Atom? Completely ignoring the fact that you were Superman.
Because it's a shit Superman film.
Like, one of my favourite party tricks you told me that you could do was when, literally, I think it was the third or fourth day me and you had ever met, and we were talking about Tarantino movies, and you said off the bat, without even looking, like, oh yeah, I can do
And
Ezekiel 25.
I can do the whole Ezekiel speech. Well, I'm not going to do it too long, but I can do it. And that's what matters. But all my life I'm trying to build up forever that I can do any of the big speeches from a Tarantino film. Because I'm trying to get the Hateful Eight now, where Major Marcus Warren says a really intimidating and disgusting speech, and I want to be able to say that.
I know
the level of intimidation.
I know the speech to the general.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. Okay, before we continue on, before we get into the histories, I have to honestly ask, favourite Tarantino film?
Favorite Tarantino film for me right now would be The Hateful Eight simply because of how intricately written it is. For me, it's superb. I know so many people have like hated it because it's too long and it's too slow and it's boring, and people have walked out from watching it and turned it off because of that. But I think it's just so well written, and the characters are so sly and sleazy that for me it makes a fantastic film.
I would be kind of in line with that. My favourite is Django Unchained because I love spaghetti westerns anyway, and Tarantino does the best westerns.
I don't like westerns except the Tarantino western.
There you go.
He does the best ones. He does the ones that capture you and they capture the moment.
But Django was really, really intense, really beautifully shot. Even the opening sequence, which is just loads of crash zooms of like the slave caravan going along and like going really, really slowly and like zoom, zoom, and it was great. It's so beautifully done.
It is. That's what makes him such a good director. He does the unconventional and makes it conventional.
Oh, but like he's done. His staple thing is that Hateful Eight was his 8th movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that he's only doing 10.
Yeah, retiring after 10.
You got really quite upset when you heard that.
But then when I looked into it more, he said he'd love to go into TV.
See, that is a good thing.
Because he's already gone into TV. He did an episode for CSI, and it was all about one of the guys was buried alive, and there was a camera in the coffin or something like that. And the rest of them were trying to find where he was while watching him in there with like maggots and stuff. And it makes for like one of the creepiest and most horrific episodes of CSI because it was CSI or NCIS. I think it was CSI though. And it makes for one of the creepiest, kind of darker episodes, and simply because Tarantino wrote it and directed it or something like that.
See, I got to appreciate that. See, I think he could totally do more things. I'd love to see him write an episode for one of those Nordic serial killer shows, like The Killing or something like that. I think because they're already pretty gritty, but let a guy who mastered gritty, unlike his first movie, just to go nuts.
Well, that's one thing. I bet you won't know this. He didn't write, but he directed an episode of ER.
I did not know this.
Yeah, and I found it the other day, and it literally had this whole section of, it was the start of the episode, and he just did one shot. And he literally followed, George Clooney came in, and he went off his way, followed Clooney, and then someone else would walk by and it would just take off following them into one room where someone's getting CPR done and follow them, someone else out of the room, and he just did this marvellous one-shot opening. And it was just directed by him. It wasn't written or anything, but he could still take someone else's writing and apply it to his style. And
I have to appreciate that.
It was brilliant.
It does take quite a director to even do a one-shot properly.
Yeah.
Like there was...
We've tried to do a one-shot before.
We have.
It's hard.
It's... Don't ever look that up. There's one really good one-shot in Hateful Eight, isn't there? I can't really... it's like the first time we see the original 4 with Channing Tatum walk into the, or am I imagining things? Walk into the cabin, and it pulls between each one real quickly.
No, that cuts there. There are cuts there because it's like Minnie says hats off and all, and they take their stuff off, and it cuts then to a panning shot of them.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Still,
yeah.
Beautiful.
But to go back then to Hateful Eight and Django, I don't know when this was actually came out, but it's coming back in the media now. An old interview from the Hateful Eight with Sam Jackson, saying, and he's talking about the fact that people would consider Quentin to be racist because of the language he puts into his scripts, and that he puts words in characters' mouths, and it's the use of the N-word. And Sam Jackson has come out and he went and he said the fact that one of the things he said is, if you notice that the characters he plays, like as a black man, as Sam Jackson saying these things, he's always the most clever character in the movie.
Always.
He's always the most clever one there. And like he was then referencing playing Stephen in Django, and he said to Quentin, "Do you want me to be the most despicable black man in movie history?" And Quentin said, "Yeah." And because of that, Sam says he doesn't think a racist could play any of those roles. No. And that's how could you consider Tarantino to be racist because of that?
Didn't Leonardo DiCaprio have a real problem?
Yeah, he had stopped the filming. He said, I need a break, until Sam Jackson came over and said, this is a regular Tuesday.
Yeah, it was pretty much along the lines of, stop being a bitch.
Yep.
And I love that.
Stop being a bitch. Motherfucker, this is a regular Tuesday for us. Because there was so many, obviously, as a plantation owner with slaves, Leonardo's character was going to be very racist.
One thing I really love is that I think Leo should definitely be in more Tarantino stuff, because he is such a versatile actor, and especially the one scene, when he punches through the glass table.
Yeah.
That was completely accidental. He didn't mean to break it. That's a real cut in his hand.
Yeah.
And
he didn't mean to break the
poor
glass.
Kerry Washington, he's rubbing his hand on it, she's freaking out, and he's just you could see it. He's really quite in pain by this.
You can see the shaking of his hand.
He's like, oh, and you can see it. Mm. But that ability to carry on when you know full well that it was me or you, and we put our hand to a glass table, we go, oh, straight off the bat.
But it wasn't a glass table. It was a glass on a table.
Was it a glass on table, or was it?
Yeah, it was a wooden table with a glass, and he smashed the glass. He meant to hit the table, but he hit a glass on the table and cut his hand. As you can imagine.
Yeah, geez, that's got to be quite a lot of pain.
Yeah, but that's where, even in those moments, he was in a Tarantino. He's on a Tarantino set in a Tarantino movie. He knew he needed to get gritty and keep going, and he did it well, and it worked for the film.
Right. Well, I think Tarantino is feeling kind of chubby after our loving. Yeah,
let's get back to Kevin. Main thing I want to talk about right now that he announced on Instagram and Twitter and all, Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I know.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back wasn't the greatest thing ever. It was.
Do you know what?
It was a stupidly good film, but it wasn't going to make any movie history.
I'm a fervent believer in films that are so bad they are good.
We know you are.
You know I am.
We know you are, and that is not the topic of this episode.
But Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back really sort of falls into that category.
Because it is one of the best worst films.
It is.
It is a fantastic
But they knew exactly what they were going.
Yeah, because that's what Kevin says. He wants to make a movie he wants to see. He doesn't care. That's why he made Yoga Hosers.
Oh, I forgot that was the thing.
Yoga Hosers, and there was another one, Red Turf or something like that, and that was a really odd film.
Yeah, just Moose
Red
Jaws
State
is another one that's coming.
Red State was that's the one I'm thinking of, and that was a weird little thing. But he makes it because he wants to see it.
But obviously, we have to talk about Clerks.
Clerks, obviously, spanned 2 films. Tried to make it a TV show. Tried to make a 3rd film. The TV show don't even get me started on the TV show.
Oh god!
But Clerks is a fantastic film for a first-time director.
It is. It really, I'd love to say that the first films we've made or of anything of that level.
Yeah.
And they're not.
No.
They're not.
But that's the thing, though. We worked with what we had, whereas he sold his car to fund that.
I mean, I'd sell you if I could make a movie that good.
Get out of the Tarantino slave mindset here, okay? We're not.
I never said I was selling you as a slave. I'm selling you for parts. But yeah, no, I mean, I think because Clerks introduced these weird and lovable characters, that is Jay and Silent Bob, properly.
It got the world to know Jay and Silent Bob, and the world loves them.
And they just, I mean, Clerks is great, but it's not my favourite Kevin Smith film.
What's your favourite?
Dogma. Without a shadow of a doubt, Dogma is my favourite.
Dogma is one of the most genius films ever made. It's just pure genius.
I've seen it, I'd say nearly 30, 40 times.
If you haven't seen Dogma, watch Dogma. Dogma is fantastic.
It is. It does kind of, if you are a religious person, you might not like it.
That's what's surprising. I got a friend and she is the most religious person you'll know, and she loves Dogma.
Really?
Yeah, she just, I don't know what it is, because it's not trying to deny a religion or anything.
Quite the opposite, in fact.
Exactly, she loves it.
But there's some great, the cast in it is brilliant.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got the lovable Jay and Silent Bob, which you need, but I will get more into that point about how they appear and everything, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock was an odd one. He fit the role, he fit the movie, but it was unexpected.
It's more, I don't like Chris Rock in anything else other than Dogma. I don't even like his stand-up that much anymore.
No, but he's good in Dogma though.
He's good in Dogma.
He is good in Dogma, very good in Dogma. But then, obviously, Damon and Affleck. They have to appear, at least Affleck needs to appear in multiple films in the Smith
He does.
movies.
I mean, he does different roles, but he is just...
Oh, we're forgetting the most important. Jason Lee.
I forgot Jason Lee was in that.
He's fantastic in that. He's not the devil, but he's like the devil's right-hand man.
He is.
He's fantastic.
I
I love Jason Lee. I'm not as big as man like My Name Is Earl or anything like that, but in a Kevin Smith film, as Jason Lee, he takes it from me. He steals the show.
He is good. I did remember, I used to love watching My Name Is Earl.
Same. I did for a good while.
No, there's... Of course, you can't talk about Dogma and great cast without mentioning the late, great Alan Rickman.
Yeah, Jesus.
Who was so good.
Like, it's such an odd role for Alan Rickman compared to, like, being, like, Shakespeare on screen.
Do you know, it kind of still almost is Shakespeare in the way he carries himself. And
the way he carries himself, the Kevin Smith's writing, it totally is like its own brand of Shakespeare.
I do love how it sort of was his thing once Dogma came around, that he still, like, posed, refined, but an over-sarcastic son bitch. And that sort of spread onto other movies later on, like Love Actually and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. The one thing that I always stood out about Ben Affleck and Matt Damon in it, though, is that they were basically children having a tantrum.
Oh god, yeah. But then, by the end, Damon has kind of come to grips with the world, whereas Affleck just goes crazy.
Isn't he sort of there on the steps, just like looking up at Ben Affleck, going, just like picking people up and dropping them from the sky?
Yeah. Affleck ends up going crazy. There are some fantastic moments though in that whole film when the bit where they're in the conference room with the executives of the cow company, whatever it's called, and just Affleck goes on a rant to them, and the whole room is at his disposal, and he just slaughters them, and it makes for great movies. No spoilers, obviously, because it's an old film. If you haven't seen it by now,
if you haven't seen it, come on, what are you doing with your life? Fix yourself. There's one person, I'm just trying to find the name out because they're very, very important. Can't find him here. Okay. The person who made Ben Affleck's wings in that needs a fucking Oscar, because my god, if you actually look at it, there's about 100,000 feathers, perfectly spread up across.
Well,
they're real wings.
It's the same on Alan Rickman's character. He has a wings at 1 or 2 points as well.
But like you have to look, it's not like CGI. They didn't do that. They physically made the wings.
Yes. And that's really impressive. It's really cool because, like, just to ask your opinion, CG or practical effects?
Oh, practical.
All the way practical.
No, if you want a proper example of this, I know you have a certain reaction when I say the names of these movies. It's for Lord of the Rings versus The Hobbit. That reaction every time. Size the first three you've seen had a mix of CGI, but mostly real. They built the sets. They built all this. The Hobbit was all CGI mostly.
I don't like CGI and all, but I just don't like those films. Like the genre in a whole, it's not my style. Like I don't like Skyrim as a game because of that style. I don't like The Lord of the Rings because of that style. It's the style that I don't
it's
like.
totally fair.
If a film can do complete CG and be good, I don't mind.
Everyone is entitled to their opinion, even those who are fucking wrong. Anyway, now there's one thing that people do compare with Tarantino and Kevin Smith, is that they have created universes in their own series.
They literally their own world within a film.
Now, if you guys don't understand this, you're going to have a bit of a head rush right here.
Okay, well, with Tarantino, he says he's got a realer than real universe and the movie universe. And the characters of like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, just the gangsters, the mobsters, they would go to the cinema as any normal person would, like as if it's real. And in the cinema, they would go and they'd see a film like Kill Bill or Death Proof, let's say. They'd go and see some of his films in the cinema. And the way, I think what I found out about it was when in Jackie Brown, when one of the characters leaves the cinema, you can hear the credit music playing as he leaves, and it's the same music that's at the end of Jackie Brown. I think it's at the end of Jackie Brown anyway, but it's the fact that he's listening to the music that was at the end of a Tarantino film. So he was in the cinema watching a film in that universe.
But what I love is that there is in fact some characters who can transcend both of these universes.
And that's just Sam Jackson.
All the time.
Because he was in Pulp Fiction, and that's realer than real, but then he was in Kill Bill for a cameo. And the fact that he was in it means that the same actor was in the realer than real and the movie universe. And that for me is fantastic.
So didn't you say to me that there's a chance that Sam Jackson in Pulp Fiction went to roam the earth?
Yeah.
And ended up as a piano player in
Mexico.
In the film universe.
And he got slaughtered in a church.
Which
I would love if that is true.
I think would be great.
That would be fantastic. Like he quit the monster life, he walked the earth, and we know what happens to him. Rather than being left ambiguous, because we know what happens to Vincent in Pulp Fiction.
Oh God,
we know what happens to him, but we don't know what happens to Jules. He just says he's going to go to Marcellus and retire and walk the earth.
And he does.
Where does he go? So that's why I would love to think we know what happens to him.
Part of me does feel like he is walking along down the highway. He shaved his head at this point because he's trying to keep a low profile. And he is then picked up by a cruiser, particularly a clone trooper cruiser, and he is Mace Windu. I'm sorry, they are all linked. In my mind.
Sam Jackson plays every character in every universe, they're all connected.
Every single one, just think about it.
Hashtag fake news.
Oh, I love
but
that.
back to Kevin Smith, what I initially started saying, the reboot. Because we had James and Bob Strike Back, and that was them going to Hollywood to stop a film based on a comic based on them being made. And the new one, the reboot, is them doing the exact same thing, but it's someone in Hollywood is trying to reboot that film that they stopped being made. And it's the fact that it's trying to make a joke of current Hollywood that is rebooting everything.
See, I think it's good, but I also think it could fall into so bad it's good territory at the same time.
I could see it being like that, but if he's different enough, because I can imagine he's going to revamp James and Bob a little bit, because they're no longer 2000, the year 2000 stoners. Like that's not what's funny anymore.
Nah, they're slightly older.
Yeah, they're older and they've got a new demographic, and stoner films aren't the rage anymore. So
But-
it needs to be a revamp.
You know, I was saying that, like, comparing the universes, you do realise there is an extended universe in the Kevin Smith films.
View Askew
The
universe.
View Askew universe, and I think that's the most amazing name.
It is a fantastic name.
But, like, it covers, like, Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jane and Silent Bob, and Clerks 2. But it also includes the in development reboot and Jane and Silent Bob's super groovy cartoon movie.
Oh, that was weird. That's a
Um,
weird one.
But the TV show, the TV series of Clerks, that one that we do not talk about, and the comics, they're all tied into it as well. Everything is all the same.
Yeah.
But the main things that are stay the same in every single film is Jay and Silent Bob.
Because that's what Jane and Silent Bob are the most memorable. Like, I love Dante, I love Randall, but it's Jane and Silent Bob that are the most memorable, the most quotable. They're what makes the film.
Oh, 100%.
And the fact that, like, you have to give props to Jason Mewes for Dogma, because he was told this is a big film, this isn't a little indie yoke. There's Alan Rickman, you need to impress, you can't be forgetting your lines. And he went and memorised everyone's lines and came back on set quoting everything. And he said he didn't want to piss off the Rickman fella.
It's fair.
Yeah, like if it's Alan Rickman anyway, you're going to want to respect that. But it's the fact that he went through such lengths to make sure he wasn't kicked aside.
Could you imagine being Alan Rickman's agent and going up to him and just be like, look, they want you to play an angel in a film where we say that Jesus is black and God is a woman.
And you have no genitals.
You also have no genitals, and that you're going to be travelling along the country with two stoners and Chris Rock, who is also an angel.
Can you imagine what he said?
I imagine it was something along the lines of, okay.
That impression though alone, you could be the new Rickman in a Kevin Smith film.
I would not want to be, because I feel like I disgrace it.
Nah,
completely.
there's only one Alan Rickman.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now that we know, like, the View Askew universe is messy, just for a start. Mostly because you do have actors playing different roles, despite the fact, like, we have Ben Affleck in Chasing Amy, but we also have him in Dogma.
Then you also have him in Mallrats, and then you've got, I think the only ones that really stay very consistent is Dante and Randall.
Yeah.
Except for, I can't remember Dante, but like Brian or Halloran, I love him on Twitter. I just love watching his Twitter. But there was like, I think it's Dogma. Someone's going to buy a gun or something. I think it's one of those films, and the man who plays Randall has a cameo as a different guy in a gun shop. So that's the only other bit. Whereas most of the time they are Dante and Randall, and they are like one of the better duos in the whole universe.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So, in terms of future plans for Tarantino, what would you like his last two movies to be?
I did hear that he wants to make a kind of a Bonnie and Clyde era mobster film, and I think he would bloody kill that genre. I think that would be a fantastic, like, I could imagine that being up there with Pulp Fiction. You know, that would be fantastic to see.
I could see that.
Yeah.
But I'd like him to take the reins over for a movie that was already done, but done badly.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him take. Do you remember Public Enemies with Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
Like John Dillinger and stuff. I think he'd do great if he had a proper role of something like a story
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. But even then, if we're talking future, I would love to see him go TV.
Oh yes.
And I know Kevin Smith was like, he's already gone to TV and he does films, and you have to applaud him that he just makes what he wants to see, and I love that.
Chances are we're going to want to see that too. We're just diehard fans.
No matter what Kevin makes, I'm going to want to see it, because I'm one of his bloody huge fans. And I love him.
What was our ulterior motive to filming a podcast one day that talking about movies?
one day we would love to get Kevin Smith on. Like, one day down the line,
through Skype, whatever.
just get him on Skype and be like, this is our 1000th podcast episode. Will you be a guest? We're going to discuss your films in detail. Imagine that kind of thing. That's like a motive, ulterior motive, whatever. That's motivation.
I said to you that the reason when we and I joined Unpro, that if we met Kevin Smith through the course of many years of work, I know we've made it.
Yeah.
And I'd die happy. I simply would.
But that covers it all. We know now what we want to see future-wise for Tarantino. What about Smith?
Oh, I want him to take the Flash movie. I need him to take the Flash movie.
He would do justice for that Flash movie. He would take it and make it his own, and it'd be fantastic.
I want to make a Justice League pun.
Don't make a pun.
No, I won't.
Don't make a pun, or else this is over in a flash.
Oh my god.
Okay, I think on that note we should end.
That joke was Superman.
On that note, we're going to end this episode, and I hope you enjoyed. I've been Conor Ryan.
I've been Dermot Costello.
And join us next time for more screen time. Goodbye.
See ya.